All right. So we got new numbers from Bob Arum. And since they came from Bob Arum, these are the most reliable numbers that there are. And I hate to say that, but with Bob Arum, that's the truth. 1.2 million pay-per-view buys for Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And you would swear that would make it a success, right? 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. The promoter himself says that that's what they are. People are going to believe it, right? And people are going to say, what a tremendous success. 1 million pay-per-view buys in the US. Hey, that's huge, right? But of course, no, of course not. Because it's Deontay Wilder. Since Deontay Wilder's involved in it, something has to be wrong. So courtesy of Chris Mannix, we get the break-even point argument. Oh my God, man. Will y'all please stop? Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Man, I'm telling you, it does not change. It does not stop. They are in. If these clowns, if they are one thing, they are consistent. Okay? They are consistent even in their inconsistencies. They are consistent in their hypocrisies. They are completely and utterly like metronome. What is that? A metronome? You know, a thing that swings. So you play the piano to keep timing, like tick tock, a metronome. They are metronome like in their nonsense. All right. So here we go. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury pay-per-view. I knew. Okay, there's going to be a low ball out there. Okay, some source is going to come out with a number that's low. All right. Now that source more than likely is going to be connected with a rival, directly connected with rival promoters or rival networks or whatever. So like, okay, what is the low ball going to be? So we get 700,000 from one group of people. And then from another group of people, we get between 750, might get to 800, might get to 850,000, right? Now, since this is Bob Arum, right, in a top rank co-promotion, Bob Arum is not going to be one of the people lowballing what he did. So he comes out and says, no, the numbers are closer to 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. Now, I'm sure people are going to take him at his word, right? Because it's Bob Arum, the promoter, and Bob Arum is the source that told you all the other pay-per-view numbers for top-ranked fights. Like the pay-per-view numbers that would come off for Manny Pacquiao being over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Those numbers come from Bob Arum. Now, Canelo Alvarez's pay-per-view numbers. Who told you that their pay-per-view numbers were over 1 million? Oscar De La Hoya, the promoter, told you that. Same thing for who tells you what the numbers are for Anthony Joshua's pay-per-views in the UK. It is Eddie Hearn that tells you. Barb, which is their like the British version of Nielsen, where they give you the rankings. They have an estimation of what the pay-per-view numbers are, but Eddie Hearn is the one that says, yes, we think we broke a record. We came in around here. Always very non-specific, but they tell you the numbers, right? So if you can believe Bob Arum about Manny Pacquiao, if you can believe Oscar De La Hoya about Manny Pacquiao, if you can believe Eddie Hearn about Anthony Joshua, then you should be able to believe Bob Arum, right? About Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Shouldn't you? So let's just go with it being the 1.2 million. Now that should be a success, right? Of course it should be a success, because you can't say that Bob Arum doesn't know the numbers, because Bob Arum's a better source than any of the sources that these other people could be given, because Bob Arum actually knows the numbers, because Bob Arum actually took about $10 million out of Tyson Fury's pocket just to count it, okay? Just to count it. I can't see that Bob Arum did much else to promote that fight, but hey, Tyson Fury signed him up as a promoter, gave him 25% of his money, gave MTK Global 25%, another 25% of his money, half his money gone. Half of Tyson Fury's money gone for those guys to count it. So I would suppose that they know what the numbers are. Now, that means it's success, right? Not so quick. Because this is the next one. After you underestimate the numbers, you undervalue the numbers. If you can't get away with undervaluing the numbers to try to tear the fight down, then you bring up this thing called the break-even point, which is whether or not the fight made money or not, whether or not it was a profitable endeavor for the organization that put it on. Okay, so Chris, Mr. DAZN, right? Chris Mannix, who works for DAZN of all people, DAZN has the nerve to talk about break-even points on a fight. So Deontay Wilder should have done, they were really hoping to break even at about 1.1, 1.2 million pay-per-views. They would have broken even. Now, the idea that in order to break even on a pay-per-view event, that you have to do $1.25 million to break 1.2 million pay-per-views to break even, that to me sounds kind of ridiculous. Okay, it just off the cuff. I know that there was a lot of promotion, but that promotion was not actual money spent because the promotion was done on Fox. Fox dedicated their airtime to air those ads. They did the Super Bowl ad. Yes, that slot was worth a lot of money. The slot was worth a lot of money. They could have sold that time slot for a lot of money, but that is an opportunity cost. That's not an actual cost. So where is the 1.2 million to break even that the fighters' purses? I know, but regardless, let's just say that they're telling the truth. Okay, that it's 1.1, 1.2 just to break even. That tells you that they knew that no matter what, that fight was going to be a failure. If it's that high, why would they do it? Maybe because they have some other value besides getting a direct return on investment from that fight. Maybe Fox just wants to have a mega event associated with them and give them something else, give their Fox fans something else to look forward to keep them focused on the network. Like all of the conversations on Fox Sports around it, all of the shoulder programming, all of that other stuff. Maybe they just wanted to wanted to spend money in order to to have their name recognition and their brand grow through the use of the sport of boxing. They could have seen it. They could have seen it as an investment, right? Right? No, but now tell me. Now, before you guys start trolling and telling me that what I'm saying doesn't make sense, isn't that what DAZN does? What are the break-even numbers on Canelo Alvarez's fight? When you pay Canelo Alvarez $35 million, and then you pay Danny Jacobs $10 million, and you only have 400,000 people watch it at $10 a month. Okay, that's $10 a month. That's not for the event. That's $10 for the month. That's for everything. So if you have 400,000 people times 10, isn't 400,000 times 10 4 million? Isn't that 4 million? Right? That's 4 million. That is nowhere near making up the money for what the $50 million that they put into that event. Where is this hypocrite Chris Mannix talking about the break-even point for fights on Fox? I mean, fights on DAZN. Oh, but let me get it right. Oh, with DAZN, it's an investment. You can understand the concept of an investment, right? You can understand the concept of an investment if it's DAZN, but the concept of an investment misses you if it's Fox? Mind-boggling. But either way you cut it, just watch this. That is with PBC pay-per-view events that are definitely things related to Deontay Wilder. Number one, the numbers are always underestimated to start with. And then if they wind up being good, they bring in the idea of a break-even point. so that they could say that the network lost money. So even if it looked like it was a success, it really wasn't. They did the same thing with the fight with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder the first time. Yeah, it did 350,000, but their break-even point was really, they did 350,000 pay-per-views or 325,000 pay-per-views, but their break-even really, they needed 350 to break even. Like now, not only do you have inside sources giving you giving you in real time the calculations from 100 different cable companies. Do you ever try to sign up for Showtime or sign up for Fox, and they ask you and on their stream, and they ask you what your cable company is, right? And you say Google Fiber or Pacific West, you got to go through that long list of cable companies. You realize that all of those cable companies, they all have pay-per-view, and those pay-per-views a lot of times go through those cable companies. So in order to calculate what those are, what that is, they have to go through and check the stats with those companies. But you get real time to the second predictions, estimates on what the pay-per-view is. But not just that, you now are getting detailed accounting analysis of what their debit credit ratios were, like what their return on investment is and what their net profit is. And now you got, get out of here, man. Y'all are just making stuff up to tear the dude down. Anyway, man, if Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury is a failure, that's just another reason. And so is all of DAZN. Okay, then all of DAZN is. Well, at least their boxing area is, because there's no way that they're making reaching their break-even points on those fights. But anyway, it is what it is. Do it what you want. I'll check you out in the next video. And with that, I'm out. Peace.